Hey guys, we're back with a new video for you. This one's going to be centered around the slope intercept. Uh, Math questions you'll find on the ACT. You'll see these on the SAT as well, so this could be helpful to you. I'm hoping that these questions that I go over will give you a good perspective of how these questions have been formulated over many different years, so that it'll give you a good perspective of what you'll face as you get prepared for either the ACT or the SAT. With that in mind, please remember one of our focuses is to help young adults that don't have access to help outside of school. Okay, so please like, share, and subscribe. And let's get started with the first question. All righty, question number 1. So a line in the standard coordinate plane passes through the origin and the point -12, 6. What's the equation of the line? So this is really important. Notice it passes through the origin. So it's not going to have a y-intercept. So that gets rid of answer choice D as in dog and then A. And that leaves B, C, and E. So one of the things we can do, let me get my pen tip set up here. One of the things that you can use is y is equal to mx plus b. And then the other thing is the slope. You know, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. We're given a point, and we know the other one's at the origin. So in this case, the point we're given is -12, 6. And the origin is 0, 0. So we can figure out the slope real quick. Let me write it over here beneath the image, number 4. So that's just going to be m is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. In this case, we can make this x sub 2, y sub 2, x sub 1, y sub 1. I just chose them to be that at random. Y sub 2 is going to be a -12. Sorry, y sub 2 is a 6. X sub 2 is -12. And y sub 1 0. And then x sub 1 is 0. So that's going to give us 6 over -12, right? You can reduce that to, well, it reduces by 6, and that reduces to 1/2. Now we got a negative sign, so we got a negative slope. So we got a -1/2 slope. With that being said, that leads us to look at our answer choices now. Which ones have 1/2? Well, C and B. The only one with a -1/2 is B, answer choice B, as in boy. Most of these questions are going to be revolving around, you know, this formula y is equal to mx plus b and the slope. Some of these are going to be really simple. I just hope that you really gain a good overview of how they've been designed. You can only design them so many different ways, and then it becomes really evident what's coming. Next question. All right, so you got a table. In here, it says a part of the lesson on motion, students observed a cart rolling at a constant rate along a straight line. Constant rate is really important. Implies a straight line, right? As shown in the chart below, they recorded the distance, y feet, of a chart from a reference point at 1 second. Intervals from t equal to 0 to t equal to 5 seconds. So there's our table, t and y. You can let t be x if you want. So what you can do here is you got to figure out the slope, because we're thinking about this idea of, remember again, come on, y is equal to mx plus b format, right? And we need to figure out what the slope is. So we can pick 2 points. Let's pick 0 and 12. And then the next one, 1 and 20. Now, when I did this, I picked this one as x1, y1, and x2, y2. All right. So the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that's just going to be 20 minus 12. Make my 2 a little bit better there. And then x2, 1 minus 0. And, 20 minus 12 is 8 over 1. And so the slope is 8. So that gets rid of J, K, and F. And it leaves G and H. Okay. So let's take our slope-intercept formula. Let me put it below the picture. Y is equal to mx plus b. And let's fill in our slope. We know it is 8. Well, they're using the letter T here. I'm using X, but I'll change it to T plus B. That's equal to Y. Now, let's take one of the points. Let's just take 0, 12. So let's make T 0. And we'll make Y 12. So 8 times 0 is 0. And that's going to leave us 12 is equal to B. So now we get the equation. Y is equal to 8t plus 12. And that becomes answer choice H. Okay, see, there's really nothing very difficult about this right now. But it's important to see how they've created the questions. In this particular situation, they gave you a table. Before, they just gave you, a point in the origin as a point. Next question. Okay, so now they set it up with a graph. This is really your friend, because a graph will help you get there real quick. The line shown below is represented by one of the following equations. Which one is it? Well, this is real easy. We have a positive sloped line. So that rules out K immediately. All right, now you're given points, 2, 0, and 0, -3. So you can take your point 2, 0, and you can do the same thing with 0, -3, and substitute it into these equations to see which one gives you back the y value. So let's take 2, 0, for instance. When x is 2, y should be 0. Which equation does that? Well, just use F. Start with F. If we start with F, it says y is equal to 3 halves, 3 halves x minus 3. Well, when x is now 2, 3 halves times 2 minus 3. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 divided by 2 minus 3. 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. And that checks our point to 0. So with that being said, move on. We just found that our answer is F. Next. Okay, so we have here triangle ABC is shown in the standard XY coordinate plane. Which of the following is equation of A to C? Well, A to C is a vertical line at X equals 2. So it has to be A. That's real easy to see. All right, let's go to the next one. What is the intercept of the line in standard XY coordinate plane that goes through the point -3, 6 and 3, 2? Well, again, we'll default to the ideologies of y is equal to mx plus b, and then finding slope. And you know slope is just y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's choose our points. -3, 6, and 3, 2. Yeah, 3, 2. -3, 6. Let me make that a little bit better. -3. That's not really better, is it? Let me get my eraser. Fix that. All right. Oh, much better. Okay. With that being said, I just chose my points to be x sub 2, y sub 2, and then what else did I choose? X sub 1 and y sub 1. Now you can figure out the slope easily. Let's do it underneath the figure over here. So y sub 2 is 6, and y sub 1 is 2. X sub 2 is -3, and then x sub 1 is 3. All right, well, 6 minus 2 is equal to 4. -3 minus 3 is a -6. And so that reduces to, we can reduce that to a -2/3. Yeah, -2/3. So now we know part of our equation, y is equal to -2/3 x plus b. Well, we need to find what is the y-intercept? We need to find b. So you can take your point, one of your points, and plug it into the equation. Let's take 3, 2. So when x is equal to 3, b should, y is equal to 2. So 3 times 2 is equal to 6. That's still negative. Let me put my negative sign right there. So -6 divided by 3 plus our b, right? And so -6 divided by 3 is going to be -2 plus b. And we still have a 2 over here. So now we're going to move our -2 to the left side. 2 plus 2 is equal to b, and b is equal to 4. So our equation becomes y is equal to -2/3 x plus 4, and the y-intercept is 4, and that's answer choice H. One more. Okay, this one's pretty interesting. It's really a scatter plot, and somebody has put a best fit line in there. And so let's read what the question wants us to find. The scatter plot in the standard coordinate plane below contains data points showing a strong linear correlation between the variables x and y. Mia drew the line shown to model the data. One of the following equations represents Mia's line. Which one? All right, so I'm going to try expanding this just a little to make it a little bit larger. All right, because we're going to have to do some drawing on the graph. Let me come over here, change my pen tip color. All right. Now, immediately we see that the y-intercept is 10. I'm just going to read that as y-int. So that gets rid of A and E immediately, and that leaves B, C, and D. Now, the key to this is finding dots that are on the line. And the one that I found right here is right here, one right here coming down. It's not going to be perfect, but I think you get the idea. And that's going to be really close to 0.5. And then that line's going to be drawn over to the y-axis. Okay, so we're just eyeballing that point right there. And that looks like, to me, we got like a 0.6 for our x and about an 8.2, I'm guessing, for the y value. And then we're going to find another line as close as we can on that line. And there's one right down here at the bottom. Right down here at the bottom. 3 and 1. 3 and 1. Okay. So now we have 3 and 1's 1. Oh, that's not a point. Sorry, guys. I apologize. That's not a point. I couldn't see it well with my glasses. Let me get my... Yeah, let me get that right there. All right, let me look closer. So where is one of them? Oh, yeah, I see it. It's right there. It's right here. It comes straight down. And then it comes straight over. The best that I can. Okay, so we got this point right here. And that's going to be about, I don't know, about 1 point. It's almost a 2, 1.8. And then it's about almost 5. So 4.5, 4.6, somewhere around there. Now we got 2 points. And we can begin to work on our slope now. So let me get over here, change pen tip. So the two things we can do is we can use our equation mx plus b, and then we can find slope, right? Okay, so we know the slope is y sub 2 minus y sub 1, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Now, I'm going to let 4.6 be y sub 2. 4.6 minus 8.2 over our x sub 2, 1.8 minus 0.6. Now 4.6 minus 8.2 is going to give us 3.6. That's going to be a negative, right? And then a 1.8 minus a 0.6 is going to give us a 1.2. When you divide the 3.6 divided by 1.2, we get a negative 3. So our slope is going to be negative 3. So that gets rid of answer choice C, and that takes us to A and B. So the next thing we can do is use our formula. Now we can pick a point and put into our formula. And well, we don't even need to do that because we already know what the y-intercept is, don't we? It's at 10. So the formula becomes negative 3x plus 10. And that's going to give us answer choice B, as in boy. Yeah. Okay, good. So this is just a few questions here on how they lay out the slope intercept questions on the ACT. And I hope it's helpful to you. I hope you don't encounter one like number 25 where it's hard to see the dots on the line on test day, but you could. And if you do, just be patient with it and be very careful when you're looking at the line. You want to find the dots on the line to use those particular points. Okay, with that being said, for all of you guys getting ready or prepared to take the ACT or the SAT, I wish you all the best. Just remember, go in there confidently, sit down, take the test, keep your eyes on the paper. Don't watch the clock. Check the clock a couple of times and that's it. Don't do it every 20 seconds. If you're focused on the clock, you're not focused on the test, and your score is going to be poor. So stay calm, do the best you can. When it's over, walk out of there, forget it. If you need to take it over, take it over. No big deal. You'll be all right. Good luck, guys.